In this vlog, I want to talk about seeing the light. Welcome to Look, Think, Click. Our cameras are able to record a much narrower tonal range in a single shot than what we can see with our eyes. Learning to know your camera and understand what the tonal range is will give you a great advantage when you're taking photographs and help you to be much more creative in your photography. Learning to know your camera's ability and the results it will return in different lighting conditions will help your photography a lot. In the last two vlogs, I've talked quite a lot about setting your exposure manually and how it's much easier to do that these days. Knowing your camera, knowing how to set your exposure manually, and having a good eye for different lighting conditions, knowing how your camera will respond in different conditions will take you to new levels in your photography. Learning to see light and appreciate when it's best for the type of photo you want will help you to develop your own style. Looking at the light and taking notice of the times when it's best to shoot. If it's high contrast, if it's low contrast and flat, if it's rich and warm, usually in the morning or in the evening, or noticing when you are not so comfortable with it and knowing what to do to adapt and alter the light, either using a flash or a reflector or a combination of other means. Learning to do these things will help you to become more flexible and shoot in different situations and get satisfying results. A few years ago, we were up at the Poi Sang Long Festival in Mae Hong Son province, right up in the north of Thailand. It starts very early in the morning. It's a time when the young boys are being prepared to enter the temple, and the Shan people, one of the ethnic minority groups, have a huge parade and party where they dress the young boys up all flamboyantly with lots of makeup and colours and all sorts. Starting early in the morning, the sun hadn't come up above the mountains, so the light was really dull. Despite all of the colour and all the liveliness around, the flat lighting really just wasn't working. So I pulled out my flash and set it so I could shoot it with it off camera and balanced to the available light, and it just popped the photos. It just really enhanced them so much more than what I was getting with just the available light. So in situations like this, it's good to know a few tricks and to be able to use your flash off camera, or if you've got a friend or a partner that's happy to hold a reflector, that can also be a great tool to use to help really enhance the lighting of your photos when the light conditions are flat. When lighting is very strong and you're getting a dark shadow, you've got high contrast, you need to meter really carefully and make the most of it. It's very popular among street photographers these days to enjoy shooting in bright sunshine and looking for areas where they've got some really nice dark contrasting shadows so that they can expose for the highlights and let the shadows go really dark and create some great silhouettes. It's fun to do, but you've got to know how to use your exposure meter well to be able to get these results, and certainly you have to have your camera on manual mode. And of course, it's very popular with photographers to be out early in the morning or later in the afternoon and the early evening when the sun is just above the horizon and providing a lovely, rich, warm light. For me in particular, I love it when it's been raining in the afternoon and the sun comes out just before sunset behind the hills. You'll get a rich golden light with the sun's rays refracting through all of the moisture that's in the air. That gives a quality of light that is unlike any other. And depending on where you are in the world, of course, your light situations will vary because of atmospheric conditions. In New Zealand, the light is a lot different than it is in Thailand, especially up here in Chiang Mai, because here we're at altitude and a long way from the ocean. In New Zealand, you're never far from the ocean, so the light conditions are different. And even on different continents, you'll get a different feel of lighting. If you're in Europe or if you're in North America, if you're in Asia, the light will vary from place to place. It's good to learn, it's good to know the differences in light conditions and to be able to see the light and gauge how you want to set your exposure for the style of photograph that you want and for the personal style of photography that you enjoy. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. We've got lots of great videos up there already, and there's more on the way.